warrior. It happens every 10 minutes in the United States and across the globe. Here at the Warriors, we really do focus our attentions on what is going on in America. But because this is such a worldwide criminal happening, I think I need to bring it to your attention because I don't really hear anybody talking about it. So, what am I talking about? What is happening every 10 minutes? Every 10 minutes, listen up and listen good. A woman, or a girl is losing their life by a family member or an intimate partner. Now think about that. Every 10 minutes across the globe. And this is a report that came out last month, frankly, late last month, that nobody really talked about. And I was reminded of this report today because, of course, I reported on it. But then I saw a story from Lacey in Washington State where a 17-year-old girl was attacked by her parents at the local high school, which she ran to because her parents I'm not sure where they were from, but they wanted to send her to Iraq into this forced marriage situation, and she was refusing. So apparently there were a lot of problems at home, different reports were filed. She had a boyfriend in her local high school. They were trying to keep her from going to school. Somehow she got out of the house. She ran to the high school to seek protection, to seek coverage. And also the boyfriend was also helping her. And the teachers were helping her. And they were setting her up for that day to go into a shelter. But somehow the father came in the car while she was being escorted by her boyfriend to the bus taking her to the shelter. And all you know what broke loose. And her mother and father were involved in trying to, shall I say, extinguish her life. And we'll beat around the bush a little bit because of algorithms, but that's what we do on YouTube. I want you to get the information, how critical and crucial this is. This is happening in the United States because this teen refused to be shipped off that day to Iraq into a forced marriage with a much older man. And that is called an honor on living, we'll put it that way. Can you imagine we have this in the United States? So it got me thinking about who's really talking about this report that came out towards the very end of last month. It is the most extreme form of violence against women and girls, yet it remains escalating and pervasive globally. Why aren't we talking about this? Why aren't we educating our girls and women? Why isn't the government talking about this more? Globally, 85,000 women and girls lost their lives intentionally in 2023. That's what we know about. The numbers are always higher. And 60% of those were committed by an intimate partner. So that's a boyfriend, that's a husband, or a family member. And this information shows that about 140 women and girls lose their lives every day at the hands, again, of an intimate partner, again, the boyfriend or husband, or a family member or a close relative, which means that is one girl or woman every 10 minutes. Africa is recording the highest rates of all of this, followed by America. Can you believe this? But it is something preventable. This is the part I don't understand. We have the facts. We see it's going on. We see it's escalating. Yet we don't really get in there to stop all of this. Why is that? We need much more robust legislation. And not only legislation that is enacted upon, right? Because we have plenty of legislation, well, a fair amount of legislation, I'll say, about human trafficking, slavery, right? That doesn't seem to get enforced in the United States or around the globe, in my opinion. So now we have all of this against women and girls. And what we also need is much more improved information collecting. Because again, if I'm telling you every 10 minutes, it could be every 5 minutes. We just don't know. Remember, with all of these dark subjects, the information always lacks. We do the best we can with what we have with studies. But why isn't there greater government accountability? And why don't we have, every girl and woman, every boy and man, zero tolerance for this in culture, especially the United States. We know better than this. Why are we allowing this? And of course, we need increased funding for girls and women's rights organizations and studies in education during, in these institutional bodies. So as we approach 2025, I want to point out that this report of a woman or a girl every 10 minutes losing their life, being harmed, is a call to action, an urgent need for strong criminal justice systems that hold the perpetrator accountable. That is the problem. Not holding them accountable, not making an example out of them, not taking all of this seriously, but also always providing support, which is psychological, which is medical, which is housing for these survivors, and access to safe reporting mechanisms, because many girls and women are afraid to come forward. They are afraid of disrupting the family dynamics, afraid for their own lives. They don't have financial security that goes with the man, especially in these countries like Africa. And so they do not rock the boat. They do not come forward. But you know what? We have to start campaigns to protect girls and women's lives. So I ask all of you that this be talked about. I'm going to have information in the body of this video. It is an unbelievable fact that I sit here and tell you that every 10 minutes a girl or a woman is harmed to this extent, and that it's escalating. It's a challenging thing with different cultures across the globe, but let us start in our United States of America. I just told you that story about the teen in Washington State. There's a lot more going on with that, more examples of that you just don't hear about. And certainly as our country is taking in all of these people from other countries, you're going to be hearing and seeing more of this, perhaps in your community. So please look at the information I put in the body of the video. Follow us always with all of these important issues going into 2025. Honor our hashtag community creates change at the Warriors, and really commit yourselves to doing something. And if you just share the stories on your your different platforms, that will be good enough, because it's about raising awareness, getting information out there with some take actions. But the education part, that tool is what the Warriors, we focus on best. I want to thank all of you during this busy holiday season who have tuned in, who donate, who volunteer, who help us. Let us come together even stronger, bigger, and more powerful in 2025, and not allow these human rights abuses against girls and women to continue. Join us. Honor our hashtag community creates change. Follow us, linswarriors.org, and always, always, always wake up each day and go out and be a warrior.